Hi Gemini, I'm Ronin, and this is going to be your December 2018 reading. Just a few things before we get started. That was interesting. My information will be below. That'll be my website, my Instagram, and the direct booking link for services. And what else have I been saying in these recent videos? Oh, the headphones. It's a thing. It helps me. I'm comfortable, so don't mind me. So, I think my intros are different for every single video, but I'm a Gemini rising, so whatever. Here we go. First card out is Six of Cups. I'm going to put these back in because they didn't quite flip out. The Six of Cups might be in a space where we are going over the things that, that we want. I say we, that you want, or that you've always wanted. I feel like, okay, Queen of Pentacles. All right, so now looking around and seeing that come into fruition. Finally, right? I'm sure. All right. Just as I was thinking, okay, well, I mean, I'm waiting on some more cards. We have the Queen of Wands. So Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. So you're obviously on top of your game right now. Obviously. I feel like for once you are like totally in the moment, and that's not to throw shade, but I say for once because you're always thinking about, what next? You're always thinking about what else you could have. You're always thinking about, your goals and your visions, and that's a wonderful thing. But I think to a certain degree you can kind of hinder your action process. You can hinder your decision making even. Not because you don't have the information, not because you're not good at processing the information, but because sometimes you can get so caught up in processing the information that you don't put things into action as much as you want to, as much as you plan to. So now we have the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. What's that? And the Strength card. So now you are able to better manage the planning and the doing. Also, this feels like, okay, I'm fairly sure that this is a person, so maybe you have a Leo or a fire sign in your life, but I'm feeling like a Leo. A really good friend of mine has a Leo in her life, so hell, it's not surprising. But let's see what else we've got. Oh, beautiful. Ten of Pentacles, the Death card, and the Star card. All right, so things are going fantastically. I think even so much so that you have, you've gone from the Six of Cups energy to the Star, so you have your desires are at a point where they are leveling up. Now you aren't thinking small because, now that you've been able to sort of integrate all of your gifts, all of your natural capabilities so that they work well for each other. So now it's looking like this is the best reading that I've done so far. I just had to say that. But yeah, now it's like, okay, what else can I do? Now you are thinking far beyond the levels that you used to think. Far beyond. You are setting goals that years ago, earlier this year, 2 months ago, I bet. 6 months ago, I should say. 6 of Cups. All right, 10 of Wands. So, all that being said, it seems like you may have been burning yourself out, or maybe you have burnt yourself out. So now it's the end of the year, and you are, perhaps even more excited, or maybe I should say relieved that we're at the end of the year. And even though, next month, we're just going to be, we're going to progress into the year as if it was another day or another month or another season. It's just that energy. It feels like I'm looking in this 10 of Wands, and he is tired, okay? But he can see home. And if he had just a few wands, just like activate your imagination with me for this one. So if he only had a couple of wands in his hand, home would be home. He would, he might even take his time a little bit to get there. He's not necessarily like, in a rush because he's not necessarily exhausted. But the more exhausted he gets, the more he looks forward to being home. So I hope that made sense. I'm fairly sure it did. But what I mean to say is, even though you're going to go into 2019, let me pull these cards because these just popped out. Oh, that's perfect, actually. The Hierophant, King of Swords, Seven of Pentacles. Sorry if you can't see. So you're going to go into next year so confident in what you've built this season. And, you're going to be looking over everything that you've accomplished this season, which I'm willing to bet is quite a bit. And I'm seeing you like, I hear it in locking in all of the things that you've done this season, especially to get to where you got, so that you can use that and apply it toward next year. So I would caution you, because out of all of these beautiful cards, okay, I'm not shocked because, it's your reading. I'm shocked because I haven't gotten a reading this good before, period. Just this like outrageously optimistic with, not too much concerning you so much that, how do I word this? It's almost like because it's Sagittarius season, you're feeling balanced. And I say that at the bottom of the deck is the Justice card. So it's like you're feeling balanced. I think some would say that Gemini would feel most sensitive during Sagittarius season, and that may actually be the case. But there's something about Sagittarius season that you needed, that you really, really needed. I think that especially if you have fire placements, this mutable fire, especially because Gemini is also mutable, is, I'm seeing you being like pulled off of the ground by strings. And I hope that makes sense, because it's so perfect, I feel, in my head. Let's go to weekly. Because, I mean, this is very straightforward. Oh, you know what? Before that, I actually was going to say that I will caution you, because this Ten of Wands is very much so like you, where you will you'll burn yourself. You could burn yourself out quickly. So I would say that you should really focus on building stamina, which also means balancing, your work and your play. I know when you play, you play. Okay, there's, no denying that. But I feel it'll just be so easy to lose yourself in what you're doing that you forget about you. I will leave it at that. Now, weekly. Now, this goes for this week and then the next week and the next week. This week, I feel is very just like, constant, not necessarily consistent, because your schedule may be up and down. You may be incredibly busy and, very productive, but constant as in like the energy, I feel like is going to be stable, very stable. Take some time, even if you have to wait until this weekend, take some time to, enjoy what you have. Bask in your accomplishments. Don't go too hard on yourself. The second week, I feel like it's when you will hit a milestone in something. Something that you will find, so perfect to celebrate at the end of the year, for the new year. I feel something else here. There might be something. It's weird the way that I'm hearing this. You may be signing something, or how people say, well, I always say, when people are worried about whether something will happen or not, or they're enthusiastic about something they've always dreamed of, I will often say it's already written. And what that means is kind of the same thing as, it's already happened if you truly believe it or if you truly want it. And so I'm seeing, whatever you sign or whatever you're writing is what's gonna come to pass. Like, and I'm looking at my journal here, and it says write. Okay, write down exactly how you want the next year to go. Write it down. Write it down. Like, no matter how crazy it sounds, no matter how silly it sounds, no matter how impossible it seems, write it down. And I dare say, watch what happens by next year's reading. Just save the date. So, final week. I'm seeing, at the beginning of the week, tired or settling down, which means you're also very unsuspecting. And I'm seeing something becoming official here. So I don't know what it is, but I'm seeing something become official. And you'll be able to add it to your beautiful, lengthy list of accomplishments that you have built up for this month especially. This is a beautiful reading, Gemini. I'm really like fucking excited for the end of your year as well as the beginning of 2019. I'm really, really excited. Like fucking great. That's wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Like I said before, my information is going to be below if you want to schedule a reading or a consultation or anything like that. And if I don't see you in another video, then I will see you next year. Bye.